Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 64. Ponyville. Given a couple days to get over Selma's death, I was feeling okay. Marius still wasn't feeling too good, and Gehrman had finally finished his new setup. Having exposed machine parts meant it was easier to fix, but also easier to damage, and so this time, he decided on having it all enclosed, much like Trixie's fake hoof. Furnace and Cable were actually the ones who did most of the work, since, being broken, he couldn't really build his new gear himself. Steelhorn helped with the design a bit, and once all was said and done, Gehrman had some shiny new stainless steel wings and a pair of shoulder-mounted lasers, which fed directly to the magic stored in his horn, and would move independently of one another based on his thoughts. All of it was hooked into metal body armor with built-in climate control to keep his body in the right temperature, humidity, etc. Since he couldn't use his magic other than telekinesis, he decided he'd rather have that as a form of offense. He looked like RoboCop as a pony, with lasers. His head wasn't covered though, except for by a small lens over his right eye, which could magnify things, and a metal horn cover. He still had the small tools folded away in there so he could work, except they were hidden behind solid plates protecting the internal systems. Ah! It was about time that I got an upgrade. I feel 20 years younger. His wife ran a hoof over the steel body armor, and he shuddered at the touch. My. Such a big, strong stallion. Cold steel. My favorite. Should I leave the two of you alone? I teased. Could you? They thought I was serious. Say no more. That crazy mirror thinks robotic parts are kinky. Okay, then, I guess I'll just leave them to do whatever they're about to do. Wait, in the forts? No! Go to your room to do that! Spoil sport. Freud huffed at me, as the two of them just about skipped down the hall together. I shook my head to clear it of the mental image I got, as well as unwanted thoughts about what kind of tools he had installed in there. Again, unwanted thoughts! As we approached Ponyville, I started to read a paper I'd picked up in a town we had passed. It wasn't one of our concert stops. After all, we had a timetable to keep, but we were just picked up some supplies and the local news. Hey, Gilda, we made the front page. Let me see that. After lighting the Statue of Harmony and dancing up a storm in Manhattan, which despite many of the high-class ponies finding it uncouth and rowdy, their concert put on by Griffin Pirates was a huge success. The message of their mission to spread out all over Equestria inside a couple hours, although whether or not ponies are willing to join them on their adventure remains to be seen. The second instance was in the south, Las Pegasus to be specific, where now the famous, or perhaps infamous, crew rode into town on top of a train car and brought together a spontaneous concert in the station. Oddly enough, they did not bring any music equipment with them, and there was none present in the locomotive. However, the songs could be heard throughout half the city. Their mention of doing this remains unknown. What we do know, however, is that these songs are not of equestrian origin. Following investigation, it was found that the Princess Celestia herself has some sort of connection with these playful ruffians. However, inquiry into their origins and even into the nature of their relationship was met with no comment. The third instance of these former criminals was also in Las Pegasus, the very night after the concert. There was not a single dry eye in the club, known as Neckties, a popular hangout for writers, poets, artists, and overly depressed or apathetic teenagers. After a vocal performance that has been dubbed Mad World, does this Griffin the Griffin, more commonly called Griffin North Sky or Griffin North, in some circles, the brigand and revolutionary that has been taking the world by storm, have a soft side? Is he perhaps a forlorn romantic or a vengeful victim of heartbreak? While what he has done and what he plans to do are quite clear, his motivations and reasoning are subject to skepticism. Theories range from him being a hero chosen by destiny to a tyrant conqueror, to an alien, to just a normal guy who's had enough. We have been unable to contact him for inquiry, as his whereabouts are currently unknown, although he was last seen headed south from Las Pegasus towards the Great Southern Rainforest. And there's rumor that he will be present at the Grand Galloping Gala. The event, held once every 4 years, has a history of ruin, with the previous one being brought to disaster by our very own Elements of Harmony. This brings to the question, are the bearers of the elements really harmonic? They've also been unavailable for question, but this reporter, for one, believes... Continued on page 12. Damn, now everyone knows I'm not some heartless badass. Nothing I can do about it now. Don't worry so much, Griff. Trixie pat me on the back. It's the Equestrian Inquirer. It's just a rumor mill. Nobody believes anything written in there anyway. Same thing with the Equestria Examiner. According to them, Shining Armor is actually a mare, and you're the Changeling King. Ugh. It's Fox News all over again. They're gonna get so much credit for making a lucky guess that ponies will actually start reading it. Well, let's go get ready. I have a few songs I want you to know what you think of before I use them. Oh, God! Trixie! Got it! Gilda, Etch, Growl, Maria, Nadine, and myself, as well as the cats and griffins, were laying on the deck covering our ears. Trixie's horn stopped glowing, and she, as well as the Freud's Shimmer and Sealhorn, looked at us puzzled. What? It was good. Dubstep, right? I've heard something like that being played in the clubs recently, Trixie stated. Clubs? That's where you've been going when we stop in towns? I asked, still wincing in pain, even after the music was gone. Hey, clubs are just as good as bars for information, picking up info. You've got your connections, I've got mine, Unicorn replied smugly. I think it's our hearing, I responded. What? From what I can tell, pony hearing is about the same level or perhaps a slight bit better than a human's, while griffins and diamond dogs, as predators, have a highly developed sense. We can hear in a wider range and it comes louder and more clearly. I've listened to that song before, but as a griffin, it was downright painful. I can't even imagine what Etch and Growl are feeling right now. My question was answered as Etch vomited on the deck and Growl holding his ears back. What? Gilda asked again. It occurred to me that it wasn't she didn't understand, it wasn't she couldn't hear me. I waved it off, and waited for the ringing to leave our ears. As I was saying, we can hear better than ponies and humans, and since we're predators, and the dogs are dogs, if ponies can listen to that, okay. Then we have better hearing than them. It's why dog whistles work. Great, dog whistles probably work on griffins too. Well, let's put using their sensitive hearing as a weakness, planned into the trash bin. Doesn't do us any good if trying to use it on them kills us too. 10 seconds and Etch emptying his stomach on the floor, and we're all ready to rip out our own eardrums. Remind me not to go to any raves as a griffin. One more day, and we finally saw Ponyville on the horizon. We'd be there by noon. So, between here and Canterlot is where everything of any importance whatsoever happens, apparently. What they show on the show, anyway. What show? What is this show you speak of? Gibbon tilted his head. You know what? Don't bother asking. It would freaking blow your mind if I told you, and I'm really tired of having to explain it. So I'm not telling anyone anymore. It's an alien thing, in case you hadn't noticed. By now, I'm pretty much a freak. Or do I need to sing Safety Torch again to convince you? Nope, no convincing needed. He quickly shut his trap. Well, I guess this is a second chance for us three. We each went here once before, and each time we screwed up majorly. Looks like you only get to make a first impression twice. Gilda and Trixie nodded. This town is by far the most screwed up in Equestria as well. Everyone here is crazy, and so, to incite the wrath of the universe, I have a bad feeling about this. There, now we absolutely screwed during our stay. Griff, why would you do that? You're just playing into the laws of casualty. You should know better. I mean, you taught them to me, Trixie asked. Because it's Ponyville. Things are destined to go wrong anyway. I think it's because it's so close to the Everfree and the Tartarus Gate within, but no matter what, the craziest things always happen there. I figure, as long as we're doomed, we might as well do it in an epic fashion. Lighten up. We'll probably have fun running from an angry mob or fighting off an invasion or something. We'll probably get run out of town the second the three of us enter. After all, we've all got bad reps here. Well, okay, I'm the only one who didn't make an ass out of myself in front of the entire town, but still, we got a round of what I did. I figure they won't be too impressed with us. I sure hope you're wrong. There you go. Have low expectations and you'll never be disappointed. And if things turn out okay, then it's a pleasant surprise. What do we do now? I mean, We're actually ahead of schedule. Planning on having the concert at sundown, but we're already here. You want to mingle?
Sure, why not? Sure, why not? I feel like pranking Dash.
Gilda smiled devilishly.
No thanks. I don't really feel like making myself known just yet. I'd rather be run out of town after the concert and by fans, not an angry mob,
Trixie replied.
I'm gonna go see Pinkie Pie.
Nadine just about sang as she hopped on Amaria, who seemed just as excited to meet the pink mare. After all, they could both cook and bake. Nadine just likes hugging fluffy things, and Pinkie is beyond fluffy.
Fluttershy,
Growl stated simply. Oh, we may want to leave our weapons and armor on board. Ponyville is pretty skittish. If we don't want to scare them off, we should go unarmed.
What about you? You taking Hades?
Gilda asked. Well, that's because I don't mind scaring everyone off. They looked at me and I just shrugged my shoulders. What? I'm only going to go see a specific group of ponies anyway. I don't need a crowd surrounding me. You read the paper. The press is out to get me. I may have to beat them off with a stick. And if that's the case, I'm going to bring the biggest stick I can.
Alright, fine.
Hop on, Shimmer. I'm heading to the library anyways. You may as well meet Spike. Gilda grabbed Growl and we both took off, each heading our own destinations. First stop, the library.
Oh, hello. How can I help you?
Come on, Twilight. We've known each other for how long, and you still freeze up every time you see me? I shook my head in disappointment. Would you like me to put on some tea? She asked, tilting her head to the side. Sure, do you have any of that green tea blend you had on the ship?
Oh, of course. Spike! We have guests! Can you put some tea on?
The unicorn called into the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
The familiar voice of Spike called back.
So, what's the reason behind your visit, if you don't mind me asking?
We're just stopping in, since we're in the neighborhood. Also, got any books on dragon biology? Shimmer here has some lumps on her back, and I think her wings are about to sprout, but I don't really know. The dragon, which had yet to be noticed, due to being on my back, popped her head out from around the side.
Wow! You got, big?
Thanks? Shimmer replied questioningly, not sure if it was a compliment.
Here's the tea, Twilight. Who's this? Spike, this is Shimmer. She's gotten bigger since I last saw her.
Spike's size hadn't changed. His head still came up to Twilight's chin, while Shimmer was standing upright, about a head taller than Twilight. So Spike's head came up to her stomach.
Hi!
I looked between Spike's emerald green eyes and Shimmer's ruby red ones. Looking at him, I could tell he had absolutely no idea what he was supposed to do or say. She was slender, tall, muscular, and her face had started turning into a proper muzzle instead of the stubby little snout Spike and the ponies had. If I were a dragon, I'd say she looked pretty good. No idea what's going through the kid's head right now. Probably brain.exe has performed an illegal operation. Yeah, that's it. Didn't help that he was wearing an apron. Twilight? Book?
Oh, yeah, here. How long?
Same as last time. She scowled.
What?
You know I'll return it eventually. Hey, Shimmer, sit and enjoy tea with Twilight and Spike. Also, be on your best behavior. I have some things to do. I'll be back in a while. Get to know each other. Spike looked at me over Shimmer's shoulder. I gave him a thumbs up before I walked out, bringing the book back to the ship to read later. So, awkward? Gilda.
Oh, this is gonna be priceless. I let out a snicker as I flew up to Rainbow Dash's cloud home, where she was, as expected, sleeping. Perfect. I landed in the front of the door and knocked on it. I heard shuffled movement from within, so I knocked again. Yeah, I'm coming, jeez. She walked closer to the door, then looked through the window in it. Gilda? What are you doing here? Have a minute, I need to talk to you. She opened the door. Perfect. What do you need? For you to go to bed? And then a vial of knockout gas shattered on her face. Hey, what's the big idea? She passed out, and I grabbed the limp Pegasus and flew her down to a place where she would only find herself in her worst nightmare. Carousel Boutique. I entered the shop, ignoring the looks I was getting from those who passed by for carrying a knocked-out Rainbow Dash through town. Welcome to Carousel Boutique, where everything is sleek. Why is Rainbow Dash unconscious? She glared at me angrily. I knocked her out. Why? She backed up slightly, probably afraid. Something about her needing a makeover. She just got so excited to have you do her mane and dress her up. She passed out from the sheer thrill of it all when I suggested it to her. She looked at me, clearly not buying the excuse. Okay, so maybe I've used sleeping gas, but hey, you get to give her a makeover. What do you care? To do this against her will would be a betrayal of our friendship. And for you not to do it would just be selfish. She doesn't know what she's missing. If you just do it this once, who knows? She might like it. If not, you apologize, and she chases me to the ends of the earth trying to get vengeance. She still doesn't seem convinced. Come on, you'll never get a chance like this again. She thought for a little while longer before a wicked smile adorned the bleached unicorn's face. Well, I do need to get back at her after the green mane dyeing incident. Oh, why not? Good. I'm going to stay right here so I can see the look on her face when she wakes up. She'll be out for 2 hours, by the way, so take as much time as you need and fill her up.
Griffin. Well, I got the book. I'll read it later. Shimmer's going to spend some time with Twilight and Spike, which means I'm free to do what I want. I think I'll just walk around for a bit. Never actually got to get a good look at this place. I'll eventually have to round up my crew members and head back so we can start the show. Might as well figure out when everything is. Ponyville Elementary. Cheerleading teacher's school here. Might see the Community Art Crusaders around. Then again, I might not want to. I think I'll just sit Lyra style on this bench. Wait, a bench looking towards a school playground? If someone sat on one of these on Earth, everyone would think they were a kidnapper or something. But this is Equestria. It's not creepy or anything. Let's see if I can spot anyone I know. Bonbon and Colgate. Doctor Who's Filthy Rich. Lyra. Walking towards me? Oh wait, human conspiracy theorist? Right. This should turn out really bad. Well, let's dive into it head first. And by that, just stay sitting here. She trotted over and looked at me puzzled, then sat on the bench human style, same style as me.
So...
She started. I said nothing. Then she said,
humans.
trying to make it sound like she was coughing. Yep, that's my cue. So, how about them humans, eh? I asked, causing her to nearly fall over.
Shh, not so loud.
She hissed, trying to make me whisper.
You don't want any pony thinking we're crazy.
I had to laugh at this, since both of us pretty much were, her obsession and my world jumping. What does it matter? So how'd you know it was me?
Well, for one, the way you sit. It's how they sit, or at least they're supposed to. Two, the letter. I got it from Spike, and he said it was sent by you. So I put 2 and 2 together and realized you must have one of them on your crew, combined with all of the music you've been playing, which clearly isn't equestrian. It's fairly obvious to me.
Am I that transparent?
Well, to one who is unlearned, they wouldn't recognize the signs, but one who's been researching humans their whole life, it was pretty obvious. I still can't believe it. You found a human and convinced them to join your crew. Where did you find them? Is there a secret human colony hidden somewhere?
I tried to resist laughing. She thought I found a human somewhere in Equestria, or maybe one of their provinces. She doesn't realize that I'm the human. This is too rich. Let's see how far I can go with this. Well, I can't tell you much, need for secrecy and all, but here's what I can say. There are definitely more than one, and they are hiding in plain sight. That's really all I can give you.
Can you show me? I want to see him. Or her.
I just outwardly laughed at this. Well, I could, but that doesn't mean I will. They're hidden for a reason. Can't just blow it all out of the water. Sorry, I can't help you there. She pouted and looked at me with pleading eyes, like when the pear sprites ate her dessert. That's not gonna work on me, you know. She really laid it on thick, even starting to sniffle a little bit. Nope. Tears started out flowing from her eyes as she whimpered. Not gonna happen. Suddenly, she lost her sad face and got a devious one.
Well then, I happen to know for a fact that your crew needs unicorns. I guess I'll just have to join then, won't I? Won't be able to hide the human from me if I'm on board.
With a flick of her tail, she walked off, smiling smugly to herself. Fuck. Might as well get newspaper. The last one was old. Might be some new events unfolding. Meanwhile, with Growl. I walked for some time, ignoring the frightful glares of the ponies around me. I am used to that look by now. I no longer care. I am looking for one thing and one thing alone, and I think I have found it. A small cottage near the woods, almost overtaken by nature. Small animals turning around. I almost want to paint a picture of it. They frantically scatter as I approach. I knock on the door and hear a familiar squeak from within, followed by the delicate clip-clop of hooves. The door opens, and with one eye hidden behind her mane, Fluttershy looks at me.
Oh, come in. I wasn't expecting to see you again. But, I don't mind seeing you again. I'm glad to see you again.
Shh. It's quite all right. I just stopped by to say hello since we were passing through. I entered the idyllic cabin and was immediately assaulted by the pleasant smell of nature and an angry white rabbit.
Passing through?
We are on a musical tour. I do not care for it. I find it too loud, but the captain and the others seem to enjoy themselves. We're playing our music in Ponyville tonight before we go check on the colony. Then we'll head to Canterlot to pick up any who want to come with us. We have some free time.
And you decided to spend it with me? Oh my.
She blushed and hid behind her mane again, all the while I ignored the rabbit kicking me in the foot.
Tea?
She asked. Yes, please. She motioned for me to sit on the couch. I did so, and she left to prepare the drink. The rabbit stepped up on the end of my nose, brought his foot wide, and kicked it. Of course, he just fell off. I picked him up by the leg and spoke to him in hushed tones. Ah, yes, Angel, if I'm not mistaken. Fluttershy has told me all about you. Now you listen here, or you little rat. While she might put up with your antics, I will not. And if you do that again, or if I ever hear of you treating that nice pony poorly again, I won't hesitate to eat you. I opened my mouth to show my teeth, capable of grinding gemstones in a test, and then put him back on the table. Understood? He glared at me. So I showed him my teeth again, and he cowered in fear. Good.
Oh, I see you met Angel. He's not being mean, is he?
The cream-colored pony asked as he returned to the room with the tea. No, he's been quite well-mannered. We were just getting to know each other is all. Angel quickly nodded, saying that it was indeed the case. I wouldn't really harm him, but it's instinct. He'll definitely think twice now. I fear maybe because she cuddles him that he's a spoiled brat. At least now we can enjoy our tea quietly. Meanwhile with Griffin. Stallion Grad. Dragon-slaying wolf. It's not Echo because he's already known. If it weren't for the fact that I know about the prophecy and all the crap that's been going on since Discord popped the world bubble, I'd call bullshit. Definitely one of us. Looks like another player has entered this little game. Oh, whoever he is, he's got some catching up to do. Should be fun. Things are gonna get interesting real soon. I cackle maniacally, then catch myself. The hell's up with that? Trixie's the witch, not me. Whatever. Time to continue my walk.
Blank flanks? Seriously, you're how old and you still don't have your cutie marks? That's like so lame.
I heard two voices tease. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. The Prissy Pants Squad.
Yeah, and you still can't fly. What's wrong? Wings too small? Maybe you're not a Pegasus. Maybe a chicken. That's it. You're just a stupid bird who can't fly.
Someone else. Don't know who these guys are, but there's only one Pegasus in the world who gets called a chicken. And she's president of the Rainbow Dash fan club. I walked up behind them, so my shadow loomed over them. And just what exactly is wrong with being a bird, or a blank flank for that matter? They turned around and their jaws dropped. A colt, eggshell white Pegasus with brown mane, hammer cutie mark, was a little late turning around.
Because they're lame, that's why?
Eyes wide and open in fear, he looked at me with the sun behind my head, casting a shadow over my face. Time to be scary. I lowered my sunglasses and gave them a piercing glare. My blazing blue orbs looking into their very souls. I whispered. Boo. They all let out a high-pitched shriek, even the boys, and then ran off. When the dust cleared, I saw Applebloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo, and Pip. Whoa, whoa, what have we here? They looked at me and then walked backwards, looking like they were about to run. Ah, crap, forgot to turn off my scary. 1 sec, and done. Hi, what's your name? Super Perky, even though I already knew who they are. I'm Applebloom, the little yellow fitty stuttered. Applebloom. Where have I heard that name before? Oh, I know! You're Applejack's sister, aren't you? Huh? How do you know about Applejack? She asked, having suddenly lost her fear. Oh, for no real reason. I mean, I'm only the world-famous captain of the Griffin Pirates. Collective gasps. Say I'm hungry. Want something to eat? I'm buying. Applejack says I shouldn't talk to strangers. And right she is, especially when they're dastardly pirate strangers. So, how about we go talk to her and see if she says it's okay? Yay! The four called out, and we headed to Sweet Apple Acres. No offense, Scootaloo piped up, but you don't really... Act like a pirate? Oh, I know. Then again, pirates died out a couple 100 years ago, and I'm still around, so I guess I'm doing something right they did wrong, eh? Do you have a ship? Pip asked decidedly. Yes, I do. It's an airship, actually. It's right up there. It's a little ways off because we don't want anyone to see it yet. Now, don't tell anyone, but we're having a concert here in town as part of our tour. Free admission. And since we're kind of just having it in the middle of the town, we're going to park the ship above the town square using the stage. We're all going to drop down on ropes and then make a clearing around it so that we can have some room. How about I tell them to let you four through? It would kind of be like having backstage passes. Get to meet all of us? You know the deal. Really? The four of them were super excited now. In fact, I bet you could sing a song with us. I don't know, Sweetie Belle began. You might get your cutie marks for being rock stars. That's an awesome special talent, right? But what if we're not good singers? Trust me, you'll do fine. Now, let's go find Applejack and tell her what you're all up to. Meanwhile with Nadine. I rode Maria through the town, getting strange look from all the ponies. They all look just so... huggable! No, I can't get distracted. I need to find the house that looks like it's made out of sweets. And there it is! Well, that was easy. I hopped off and the two of us walked in. Nadine! Pinky! And then we hugged. She dove into my arms and I grabbed her and started petting her mane. She looked at me with a smile beaming on her face. Mr. and Mrs. Cake, come quick! It's the kitty I was telling you about! She called into the back. The yellow stallion and bluish mare came out, with looks of shock on their faces. I told you she was really tall! Hi. Oh, hello. I'm Nadine. I'm the kitty cat, and you're bakers. Maria likes cooking, too. Maybe she can help. Oh, we're the twins. They must be so cute. It's like she's another Pinkie Pie, Mr. Cake whispered. Should we run? Miss Cake replied. And leave the bakery undefended? Do we sacrifice our sanity? You know I can hear you, right? I asked, my head suddenly between theirs. They jumped and landed on the floor. Don't worry about a thing! We'll be on our super-duper best behavior! Pinkie promised. Nadine, aren't we forgetting something? Maria reminded me. Oh, yeah, we're having a concert in the middle of town. Right in front of your store, actually. See? Out there on the stage. You're gonna have lots of hungry customers, so get baking. Pinkie gasped again, grabbed both Maria and I, and dragged us to the kitchen to prepare. This is gonna be so much fun! Meanwhile with Griffin. Well, considering all the trouble you put us through, all for nothing, I can't say I'm glad to see you again. But seeing as how you mean no harm, I don't suppose I can say no now, can I? The Crusaders beamed when Applejack said yes. She leaned in close and whispered in my ear. You do realize what you're signing yourself up for, don't you? I mean, full sitting all by yourself? I'm gonna go pick up Shimmer in a couple minutes. She'll definitely be able to help. Besides, they'll be too busy to get in trouble. All I had to do was say cutie mark and I got them hook, line, and sinker. Besides, I already know Sweetie Belle's special talent is singing. She may very well get it here. So it's not lying, I whispered back.
Why, you clever little... Oh, shucks. Just get out of here, you scoundrel. And take good care of my sister.
Well, we got the okay from Applejack. Let's see Rarity next. The five of us walked back into town when I spotted Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, and another pony I didn't recognize. It's not Filthy Rich, I remember him, and he's actually got his head on straight from what I know of him. Must be Spoon's dad.
There he is! There's the guy!
The Prissy Parade pointed me out and led her father towards me. What can I do you for? I asked, not really caring. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon had smug looks on their faces. I want you to apologize to my daughter and her friend, he said sternly. For what? I said, somewhat confused. For scaring them. They came running up to me, talking about some big shadowy griffin that was threatening them. Now, I'm sure you didn't actually threaten them, filling us with their overactive imaginations and all, but I'd like you to apologize for frightening them. I'm not sure I remember them. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. The Crusaders behind me were giggling. Oh, come on, surely you remember the looks of fear on the faces of those two darling little angels. He pushed the pair in front of me. Oh, you two. Well, sorry. I didn't mean to be scary, I just kind of am. It comes with a job. Can I go now? Sarcasm is my strong point. He didn't look so happy. Well, I suppose so. He gave in. Good. Now it's time to reverse the roles. Also, I don't remember seeing them afraid. What I do remember, quite clearly though, is the looks of smug, sadistic satisfaction on their faces, along with a pair of colts who aren't here at the moment, while they taunted these four for nothing more than being who they are. They were so torn up about it, I had to give them backstage passes to my concert tonight just to calm them down. Now, I know children really don't mean to be so cruel, they just are. So, I'd like it if your daughter and her friend would apologize to my four newest friends. The Crusaders came out from behind me with just beaming smiles. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon looked horrified. Spoon? He grunted with impatience. I'm sorry. They both hung their heads and ran off. The Crusaders were all just giggles. Well, I'm glad that's over with. Apologizing is never fun because you have to accept that you've hurt someone, whether you intend to or not. Name's Griffin. Griffin the Griffin. Maybe you heard of me? Oh yes, the famous so-called pirate who's got connections with Canterlot royalty and is leading a rebellion in the Northern Territories. You're far more pleasant than the papers make you out to be. Name's Stanley. Stanley Silver. I run Silverware Emporium. The silver-coated, silver-maned, heck, silver-eyed, and apparently silver-tongued pony introduced himself. Sorry, I can't say I've heard of you. I don't really have much use for kitchen utensils in my line of work. More of a gemstone kind of guy. Gems? Was there a large hold put on all gemstones due to the fact that they're the product of slave labor? He asked. Indeed there was. I, however, am one of the few who have unlimited access. You see, I plunder Diamond Dog ships and holds occasionally, freeing the workers and whatnot, and the gems I get a hold of, since I'm a griffin and they're being dug up by griffins, rightfully belong to me, so long as I use the profits to support the effort of liberating the northern provinces and setting up new homes for all those I freed. I see. You wouldn't happen to have any in your hold, would you? I've been hard-pressed to come up with any fine quality gems with which to make ornate pieces that Canterlot upper class buy. It's my main source of income. Well, I think I can help you with that in regard. After the concert, we'll be staying a night in town, so I figure I can set something up between you and Steelhorn. He's our smith as well as our finance officer. He's got a keen eye and drives a hard bargain, so give him a fair deal, but don't let him gouge you. Talk to you later. Right now, I gotta get something to eat. We continued, walking all the while. The three were asking me the usual, like if griffins get cutie marks, what my special talent is, all the easy questions, which I happily answered. Griffins don't get cutie marks, and my special talent is being scary. Whether it's so smart it's scary, so cool it's scary, or just plain so scary it's scary. We arrived at Rarity's to find her busy working on a sleeping rainbow dash, and Gilda was in the store too. I think I can figure out pretty easily what her prank was. You know, since Applejack was okay with it, I think Rarity will be too. We'd best leave her to work. What about you, Pip? My parents know Applejack. They'll be fine with it. And what about you, Scootaloo? Yeah, they're cool. No hint of sadness? Nothing? Either she's really good at hiding her sadness, or she's not an orphan. I think I've read too many fan fictions and just assumed she was. Okay, so, who knows someplace good to eat, preferably where they serve lots of yummy food?
How about Sugar Cube Corner?
Apple Blue suggested. Perfect! Cake for lunch, and since I'm buying, feel free to buy the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yay!
Yes, I am a bad influence, and I'm so gonna catch hell from Applejack for this. And I regret nothing.